In this week's Parsha, we come to the treatment of slaves. We just got the Esra Dibrot, the Decalogue, and you'd think there's much more important things to talk about than how you treat slaves. Slaves are there, and we always forget that these people, and the Hebrew word for slave, eved, means also servant. We always think of servants as being there, and we sort of ignore them. We don't really pay attention to the people serving us. Very famous story that somebody did a study of the White House staff. Their favorite presidents, there are two presidents since Kennedy that were their favorites. They were the Bushes, because the Bushes always said please and thank you. Something that, the others sort of like just didn't care about the feelings of the people serving them. And like the Torah makes it a point, you have to care about your slaves. And the interesting thing is, how did someone become an Eved Ivri? How does someone become a Hebrew slave? Either they were so far in debt, the only way to pay off their debts was to become a slave. They had to sell themselves, and that way they could pay off their debts. Or it's somebody who robbed, and he has to pay the person he robbed. He has to compensate that person for what he did, which is an interesting concept, by the way. In America, if somebody robs and gets caught, he goes to prison, he gets three meals on a cot, we're paying for it. He makes no restitution to the person he actually harmed. The Torah says, no, you have to make restitution to that person. You harmed somebody, and that person has to be made whole. So when you think about it, the fact that we have to treat our slaves with dignity and respect says something about the Torah's attitude. Is yes, this person is in this predicament because of his actions. Yet, we still have to treat him as a human. He was made in the image of God. A very famous story that the Vilna Gaon, this fellow would come in to clean his room. A peasant, a Lithuanian peasant, would come in. And every time this person came in, the Vilna Gaon would stand. And a student said, why are you standing for this guy? He's a drunk, he's this, he's a peasant, he doesn't know how to read or write. Why are you standing for him? And the Vilna Gaon said, you don't get it. I'm not standing for him. I'm standing because I'm in the presence of the image of God. And that's why I stand. Something to think about. Kaddish Rabbanim.